Welcome to the first episode of The Perfect Housewife. You might be thinking, it's 2010, The Perfect Housewife. There's no such thing as a housewife anymore, but there should be. I'm June, The Perfect Housewife, and I can help you become the perfect housewife too. What makes a perfect housewife? Well, the first thing is to always have dinner ready on time. Your husband has worked hard all day and you want to show him that you've been thinking of him all day, and because he deserves to come home to a hot meal on the table the second he walks in the door. Well, I've already made my dinner because it's Ward's favorite, pot roast. So I'm making cookies for him and my boys, their favorite oatmeal, and because I'm the perfect housewife, I'm making them from scratch. We have a lot of baking to do, so let's get started so there's not a lick of a mess when my husband gets home. So here are my ingredients for my oatmeal cookies. I already have half a pound of butter, which is 2 sticks, in my bowl, melted and softened. And I'm making a double batch, so I actually have a cup, but I'm going to be telling you guys the recipe for just one batch. So we're going to add a cup of brown sugar, nicely packed, to my butter, along with half a cup of sugar, a teaspoon of baking soda, and now my eggs. Now, you see I've already measured all my things. It's a great way to minimize your mess, because if it's easier to clean up the mess that you've made in your husband's kitchen, you can clean the rest of his house more thoroughly so it's spick and span when he gets home. And you know that's what he deserves. So here are my eggs. And I've already added my baking soda. Now I'm going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon, 3 cups of oats. Yes, this is a lot because remember I'm making a double batch. So let's mix this stuff up a while before I add the rest of my ingredients. My special ingredient though, that I'm sure all you perfect housewives out there already know, is love. Because I love my family and love being a housewife so much. And every time I make cookies, I look forward to being able to bring over a plate of fresh baked cookies to my husband after I clean up the dinner, of course, and bring him his slippers while he reads the paper. Now I'm going to add my flour, and for a regular recipe, you're going to add 1.5 cups of flour. So since I'm making a double batch, because my boys love my cookies, I'm going to add 3 cups, along with half a teaspoon of salt, and a teaspoon of vanilla. And now I'm going to mix that all up with my oats and my eggs and, of course, my love. The only problem about making a double batch today is tomorrow I won't have to make any cookies, so I don't know what I'll do with my time. Because being a housewife, my job is easy. Now my little perfect housewives, as you can see, sometimes the mixing gets a little hard because this is a pretty thick batter. But just remember that your husband works a whole lot harder than this at work, so don't complain. And when you give him the cookies and he doesn't say thank you, just remember what a hard day he's had and how you've gotten to be at home all day because he's out working. So I have my cookie batter all mixed up, and we're going to go to a short commercial break, and I'm going to clean up, and when we come back, we'll scoop out the cookies onto the sheets. Now that my mess is all cleaned up, I'm going to start scooping my cookies, and I always use an ice cream scoop because then my cookies are perfectly sized and I can perfectly space them, and they're perfectly round because I'm the perfect housewife with the perfect husband and perfect children. So you want to make sure you space them so that when they spread, they don't get connected, because then they wouldn't be perfect cookies and we can't have that. And this recipe, because I doubled it, is going to make probably 6 dozen cookies. It's a lot of cookies, but I'm the perfect housewife, so I always want to be prepared with enough cookies for everyone. Now you might think, wow, I mean, it's early afternoon, she's already made dinner, she's already started cleaning, now she's making cookies. I mean, it's pretty easy. What else is she going to do all day? Well, my life is easy, of course, but I have to dust the house. I've already made the beds. I clean the whole house every day. So after I dust and after I'm done baking, I'm going to be vacuuming the entire house, and I think today, because it's so lovely outside, I'll wash my windows, but only if I'll have enough time to come back inside and freshen up before my husband comes home, because the last thing he wants is to come home to a messy wife. And when I'm done scooping my cookies, I'm going to put them in the oven at 350 for about 30 to 35 minutes until they're perfectly done. So while those are baking, I'll start scooping the rest, and once everything is on the trays and in the ovens, I'll clean up the mess. And the best thing to do is clean up, like I said, as you go, and as you had seen, I already pre-measured all my ingredients. Of course, over wax paper makes the cleanup easy so I don't miss any mess. And while they bake, I can always start my cleaning. Well, my cookies are done and I've gotten them off the sheet, and I now have a perfect plate of cookies made by the perfect housewife for the perfect husband. It'll be the perfect end to his perfect day. Now, the show's over for today, but remember, ladies, if Ephesians 5:22-24 doesn't tell you to get in the kitchen and make him a sandwich, I don't know what does. Don't forget to be the perfect housewife.